Coming up in our lead report, major U.S. retailers announced they're pulling assault rifles off their shelves. We have the details.
DACA dreamers are facing more and more adversity as the Defense Department continues to implement stricter background checks on undocumented troops seeking to join the military. We have that story.
And San Diego Film Week kicked off this week. We have the latest on what local films are screening.
If you wanted to spend your weekend at the beach, you may have to make some different plans. Stay tuned for the story and weather. This week of Newscene starts now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Newscene. I'm Adonis Albright.
And I'm Alexandra Ringel. This morning, campus police took a student into custody after he had an outburst during class in the MS building. The student began yelling and throwing his arms, and his professor used the call box in their classroom to call campus police. SDCCD Police Lieutenant Louis Lizzo was on scene and could not divulge the student or the professor's identity. Lizzo said the student has mental health issues and the campus police have a history with him.
Uncommon scene at City as homes flood and residents evacuate after a fire broke out this morning. The fire started on the 4th floor of an apartment building across the street from City College. According to the San Diego Fire Department Battalion Chief, Mike McBride, the call came from the apartment's alarm company at about 10:15 a.m. McBride says the fire may have started on the balcony since the sprinklers there were triggered. When Newscene arrived on scene, the fire was 100% contained. McBride says the remaining units on scene are focusing on the potential water damage to the building. One resident, Jorge, sits with his dog on the sidewalk and shares what he couldn't leave behind.
But I grabbed her, my keys, get out of there. Nothing else. I left all my guitars and my equipment and everything.
And Newscene is on top of breaking news. 2 people are dead after a shooting inside a Central Michigan University dormitory this morning. Police are looking for the suspect, a 19-year-old male, James Eric Davis Jr. They believe he was within city limits. Authorities say the shooting happened on the 4th floor of the Campbell Hall dormitory and appears to be domestic related. The 2 people that were killed were not students at the university. Police say they had contact with Davis yesterday, and he was transported to a hospital for a drug-related incident and released to hospital staff. The university and other schools in the area are on lockdown.
Following the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, corporations across the country are cutting ties with the National Rifle Association. Here's Tara Morales with more.
Thank you, Alexandra. Dick's Sporting Goods is taking a stand in the national debate on gun control by stopping the sale of assault rifles in their stores. Dick's Sporting Goods, one of the nation's largest sports retailers, will no longer sell assault weapons in their stores. The company announced Wednesday they will not sell guns to anyone under 21 years of age amid the recent massacre in a Parkland, Florida high school. The AR-15 used in the Parkland shooting was not bought from the sporting goods store, but CEO Edward Stack says he shouldn't have been able to buy these weapons at all. In addition, Walmart has also announced it will be raising its minimum age to purchase a gun in stores to 21 years old. We spoke with students on campus at San Diego City College regarding Dick's stance and the new gun control movement.
What are your thoughts on that?
There should be better regulations on guns because there are certain guns out there that we don't need, like when people go hunting, they don't use and we don't really need them. That it's unnecessary.
The company had put a pause on selling military-style rifles after the Sandy Hook shooting, such as the AR-15 and the AK-47s.
I'm from Indonesia and we don't have guns, so it's a matter of I don't believe in the more guns equals safer. I believe in no guns, if there's no guns, there wouldn't be any shooting, would there be?
You don't want a gun in someone who has a bad mental background. If it's laxed, then you don't know what that person's capable of.
Stacks is saying he does not want to be a part of this issue any longer. I'm Tara Morales, reporting from Newscene. In response to the shooting, the retailer's 2 announcements were made 2 weeks after 17 students and staff members were killed in the shooting in Parkland, which are among the most significant actions taken on guns by corporate America. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Tara. And it sounds like the National Rifle Association just won't give this airline a break. Following a handful of large corporations, Delta joined the hashtag boycott NRA movement. Delta announced on Twitter last Saturday that it will end benefits for NRA members in response to the Parkland school shooting. 2 days later, Georgia's lieutenant governor blasted back with a threat, claiming that if the company refuses to reverse the decision, conservative lawmakers will strike down a tax break of $40 million on jet fuel.
I'm tired of conservatives being kicked around on our values, and it's time that we stand up and fight and show corporations that conservative values are important.
According to CNN, Delta is one of the most successful businesses in Georgia. It is the #1 airline for the busiest airport in the country, located in Atlanta. If Delta decides to fly its business elsewhere, Georgia may ironically end up facing an economic loss themselves.
In Santee, deputies arrested a freshman from West Hills High for threatening the school. The student posted a photo of a Lego rifle on social media along with a message. District officials say they take all threats seriously and take deputies for their quick action. This teen is now facing felony charges of making a criminal threat.
And the revolving door at the White House continues with one of President Trump's closest aides, Hope Hicks, resigning. This comes a day after she testified before the House Intelligence Committee. There, the White House communications director admitted her job required her to tell, quote, white lies. The 29-year-old was one of President Trump's longest-serving advisors.
Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, pled not guilty to money laundering and fraud charges earlier this week. A new 5-count incident was issued requiring Manafort to conduct a new plea. The allegations included that Manafort had arranged European politicians to support a pro-Russian faction that he represented in Ukraine. It also alleges that Manafort sent money to unnamed officials, totaling up to 2 million euros. This incident replaces one that was filed back in October.
San Diego State University will offer a weekend-long class in March that may catch you off guard. The title of the course is Trump Impeachment, Removal, or Conviction. While the title can be misleading, SDSU has since decided to change the title by removing Trump, saying it does not accurately describe the course. Instead, the class will focus on the 25th Amendment that deals with the process of impeachment and removal. The class will be offered as a part of the criminal justice program in the university's College Extended Studies.
San Diego State University will offer a weekend-long class in March that may catch you off guard. The title of the course is Trump Impeachment, Removal, or Conviction. Since removing Trump
Well, coming up after the break, DACA dreamers seeking to join the military are facing stricter background checks from the Pentagon. How that's affecting those already serving the nation's armed forces.
and big sponsorship changes are coming to the NFL. Find out more.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. It's becoming more difficult for DACA dreamers wishing to join the military. The Pentagon is imposing more background checks on immigrant recruits. Matt Reyes has the story.
Want nothing more than to serve in the military. The two, who did not want to be identified by last name, are currently under contract with the Army, but as dreamers brought to the U.S. illegally from the Philippines at age 10. The decision Congress makes on immigration could determine whether they are deployed or deported.
So you don't really know, am I going to ship out or am I going to get sent back to a country that I hardly know?
John and James were able to join the military's now unusable MAVNI program in 2017, which allowed skilled, undocumented immigrants to enlist.
The MAVNI program was a chance
for us
to give back, and we want to show you guys that, you know, protecting this country and potentially dying for it maybe is not a problem because we love this country.
Foreign-born troops can become naturalized citizens only after they complete basic training and extensive background checks. The entire process can take years. John and James might not have that much time. Their DACA status expires in October, and their race against time is constantly threatened by changing requirements and delays.
And for one twin to ship out and one to like wait in limbo, you know, you can't help but anxiety and paranoia to, you know, creep in.
John is due to ship out to basic training on March 5th. That's the same day President Trump has given as a deadline for Congress to come up with a solution for DACA. James has not yet received his call. For Newscene, I'm Matthew Reyes.
For now, Dreamers are in limbo and will have to wait to find out if they can gain citizenship through the military.
The 150 Californians arrested by immigration agents aren't the only ones facing serious legal challenges from the federal government. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf issued a public and controversial warning last weekend. The feds were closing in on suspected undocumented immigrants.
Yesterday, I learned information from multiple sources that there is potentially an ICE activity planned in the Bay Area.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, announced Tuesday many criminal aliens and public safety threats still remain at large in the community, and have to believe some of them were able to get away because of the mayor's warning. Schaaf has since fired back, saying she stands by the statement she made and that our community is safer when families stay together.
The House passes a bill on Tuesday aimed at prosecuting websites that promote sex trafficking. Websites will no longer be protected by the Communications Decency Act, which shields websites from liability for content posted by third parties. Victims and prosecutors will now have a clear route to pursue legal action against websites hosting advertisements for prostitution that contribute to human trafficking. Supporters are hopeful the Online Sex Trafficking Act will get Senate and presidential approval to become law.
A 30-day ceasefire resolution by the United Nations in Syria appears to be ink on paper. Hours after the UN adopted the resolution on Sunday, February 25th, the airstrikes continued to hit eastern Ghouta. Nothing was changed. 7 people have reportedly been killed since the resolution passed. Additionally, 520 people have been killed and 2,500 have been injured since last Sunday. The Russian-backed Syrian regime says it is targeting terrorists in the area. Iran, another ally of Syria, said the outstrikes were controlled by terrorists and rebel groups and therefore not subject to ceasefire agreements. The ceasefire would have allowed needed medical supplies and prevented mass killings in eastern Ghouta. For the first time,
Saudi Arabian women will now be able to join the country's military. This week, the armed forces announced it will be giving women the opportunity to work in security. Women interested in joining will have to pass a list of 12 requirements, including age, height, and Saudi citizenship. This comes as Saudi Arabia's crown prince has been working to improve women's rights.
And now we want to toss it over to Juan Gomez with the latest regarding the NFL and sports.
Thank you, guys. So now, as we near the 2018 World Cup, red flags have appeared for all favorite to win it all. The Brazilian squad has a scare last week when his world star Neymar Jr. suffered what appeared to be an ankle injury while playing for his club team Paris Saint-Germain. The players left the field in tears and was clearly in pain and victory over the Marseillan squad. Neymar's father spoke on Tuesday saying that his son will be out at least 6 weeks and was going to have surgery in Brazil, meaning that one of the highest paid players, if not the highest, will be out for the big matchup against Real Madrid in a must-win scenario for his French club. Fortunately for the national Brazilian team, Neymar should be ready to go for the start of the World Cup. It's that time of year in the NFL where teams start to cut their veteran players that simply did not perform as their expectation. Around the league, many teams have said goodbye to their key players. Jets defensive line Muhammad Wilkerson, Panthers running back Jonathan Stewart, and Colts running back Frank Gore are the notable names that have been cut from their teams. Also, longtime Chicago Bears running back Mark Forte is calling it a career after playing 8 years with the Bears and 2 with the Jets. Forte has the second most rushing yards in Chicago Bears history, only behind Walter Payton. And now more news from the NFL. Pizza Hut becomes the new official pizza of the NFL after Papa John ends in relationship with the league. The pizza chain signed a new deal with the league Wednesday, just a day after the split with Papa John was announced. The shift came months after Papa John's arrested declined sales in relation to the national anthem protest. The new Pizza Hut sponsorship deal will run to 2021, while Papa John will continue partnership with 22 teams on an individual basis. That means no more commercial with Peyton Manning. The PGA Tour in Mexico kicks off when many players are stepping up their games in the first round. Luis Ostaisen has a magnificent first round, finishing 7 under par thanks to 5 eagles, 1 birdie, and 0 bogeys. Yet it's a long way to go. Players like Chris Paisley and Xander Schauffele, both San Diego natives, are only 1 shot behind. A couple more players are only 2 behind Ostaisen. With 3 more rounds to go, it's still anyone's game. The golf course had a difficulty, and many players like Paisley tweeted that he was delighted with his start, but picking the right club for the altitude was difficult. Well, guys, that's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Juan. And the Oscars are set to take place this weekend in Hollywood. We'll have all that and more for you coming up in entertainment.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
High rent prices and scarce affordable housing is a challenge almost every San Diegan is familiar with. Renters could soon be voting on a new initiative this year aimed at implementing rent control for San Diego residents. Here's more on the campaign underway.
This is 27-year-old George Dugan, a full-time city employee and father of 2. Since signing the lease for his apartment in 2015, his rent has seen an increase 3 times. He says he doesn't know what he would do if he was asked to pay even more every month.
They are starting to raise rent in our current apartment complex. It's being increased, I would say, as of right now, at least every year by about $100. It's affecting me right now, being instated that I have to spend more money on rent and less money on, my family.
The proposal, spearheaded by the Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, or ACCE, aims to repeal the 1995 Costa-Hawkins Rental Housing Act, preventing landlords from raising the rent. As it stands now, the Costa-Hawkins Act prohibits the implementation of rent control, effectively allowing landlords to raise the cost of rent as they see fit. If repealed, the move would follow suit with 15 other major cities across California, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Jose. Those behind the proposal say renters are experiencing a lower quality of life as landlords continue to raise the price of rent year after year. George says repealing the Costa-Hawkins Act could ensure stability in his household for him and his family, giving them some peace of mind.
I'm a firm believer that around 30%, which I think is reasonable, of the average person's income in that area. When it goes beyond that, it makes it really difficult for those families to live there.
This was Adonis reporting. The initiative currently requires nearly 366,000 signatures in order to qualify for the ballot. If the proposal gains enough momentum, voters could soon be voting on it come November.
Allegations of harassment and racism tonight by several adjunct professors in the Spanish department. Arcelia Jimenez broke the story late last semester. Now there's a petition circulating to push out the department chair. Celia Jimenez has an update on the story.
That's not right. It's got to stop.
Members from San Diego Adjunct Faculty Association are requesting the end of racism and discrimination at City College. This comes after 3 professors filed a federal complaint last year reporting abuse, racism, and discrimination at the workplace.
City College is promoting itself as a sanctuary college. They're saying there's no discrimination, and yet here's blatant discrimination going on that the administration's not doing anything about.
Teacher David Milroy says this situation is unacceptable.
It would be unacceptable anywhere, and it's especially bad in what should be the ivory tower, the place of ideals.
And adds the alleged behavior by the department chair, Rosalinda Sandoval, has to stop.
And have that person insult people of her own race, it's just mind-boggling. The level of hate and disdain must not be tolerated.
They also encourage students and staff to sign a petition to remove Sandoval as the chair of the language department. This student says she has experienced racism in her neighborhood and says she's supporting the professors.
I know how it feels like. It's you. And I just want to stand up for the people that don't have a voice, because at that moment I did not have a voice.
For Newscene, Celia Jimenez.
A petition to remove Language Department Chair Rosalina Sandoval is gaining momentum on change.org and has nearly 250 signatures so far. 3 City College professors are suing City College and the district. Sources tell Newscene the professors' attorneys plan to file the lawsuit next week. We'll keep you updated on the story.
The city of San Diego is giving homeless people get a chance to earn a paycheck by cleaning city streets. The new program is called Wheels for Change, and it aims to pay homeless people $11.50 an hour to pick up trash and clean downtown streets. Shifts are scheduled to be 5 hours a day for 3 days a week. The program will select participants from members in the Alpha Project, an organization that provides shelter and services for the homeless. Participants will also get a chance to be connected to other opportunities like housing services.
And now we want to toss it over to Jack D'Amicis for more in entertainment.
Thank you, guys. From San Diego to Los Angeles, the 2018 Oscars will be handed out Sunday in Hollywood. Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water earned the most Oscar nominations this year, with 13, including Best Picture, Director, and Actress. Dunkirk is the highest-grossing Best Picture nominee, earning $188 million at the domestic box office. In the Best Director category, Get Out's Jordan Peele is the 5th Black Best Director nominee in the Oscars' 90-year history. Cinematographer Rachel Morrison made history this year, becoming the first female director of photography to receive the nominee in the Oscars' 90-year history. And shaking it up, the San Diego Film this week, the local film festival highlighting examples of amazing works made by San Diego filmmakers. The 2nd annual San Diego Film Week kicked off this Thursday with a red carpet gala event organized by San Diego City College's own professor, Jody Seeley. Some of the categories include A Woman's Place for woman filmmakers, Fun Factory and Comic Relief for comedy shorts, and Fright Night and horror shorts, but perhaps the most notable category are SD Hart's TJ films produced for Tijuana and emerging filmmakers. Students shot both categories, featuring films made by both RTVF students. And this Sunday, our own Newscene, Quinn Tran and Miguel Espinosa's animated short will be screening at the Emerging Filmmakers category in the digital cinemas Sunday at 6 p.m. Now, President Trump and actor Alec Baldwin, that's all the time we have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jack. Well, you may want to grab an umbrella this weekend. Find out more in weather.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
It's real sunny today, but is that good weather going to hold up over the weekend? Colton Chavez has our forecast.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. One moment, please.
Well, it's a nice sunny day today.
It was. I guess we are going to get some more rain. Not looking forward to it. I really wasn't prepared for the rain this weekend, but good thing I didn't wash my car. Let's toss it over to Colton.
All that rain, man, must be kind of messing up our internal electricity there. Yes, there is a lot of rain, and because of the rain, the beaches have been closed for the past couple of days, as you can see on the screen. Well, the runoff contained harmful bacteria and animal waste, which is what contaminated our beaches. But as of today, the only beaches still closed are a children's beach in La Jolla and a dog beach in Ocean Beach. So if you came to visit this week, this wasn't the best week for you to be able to do that. And speaking of rain, as we look into our weekend forecast, you may not want to put that umbrella away. There we are. Okay, so as you can see, Saturday, there's going to be a high of 61, partly cloudy with a chance of rain. As we get more into the middle of the week, it starts to gradually increase, 62 on Sunday and hitting a high of 73 on Wednesday. So we may be getting out of that rainy situation. And okay, and then as we look into the county temperatures, what we're going to see is we're going to see that along the coast is going to be the mid-60s, and into the inland it's going to be in the lower 60s as well. If you wanted to get up into the mountains, now is the best time. You can see the precipitation in the Palomar Mountains all the way into Julian. You're getting a lot of rain with a low of 48. And then as we look around the rest of the nation, it's not just us San Diego that are experiencing these cold temperatures. As we can see up in the north, this cold front is coming with a monstrous volume. In Seattle and Billings and Bismarck up in the north, you can see all this cold front slowly making its way down the United States. San Diego with the 62 and Las Vegas with a chilly number of 63 degrees. They probably weren't very familiar with that. Well, that is going to do it for us here in weather. Back to you both at the desk.
Thanks, Colton. A Korean dog gets the chance to find a forever home thanks to a U.S. Olympian. Snowboarder Maddie Maestro rescued a dog from the meat trade while competing in South Korea. Jadu, the dog, is now up for adoption at the Barking Lot Rescue in El Cajon. The rescue worked with a nonprofit in Korea to save over 200 dogs from the meat trade. Information about adopting Jadu or any other of the dogs is available on the Barking Lot website. And while that weather forecast was pretty great, I'm not looking forward to the rain. And that's all we have for this week's edition of News Scene. Tune in next week for all your local, national, and international news.